What's up, everybody? This is David Daniels with Red Dirt University. I have Mr. Joey Greer with me today.
I drank the whiskey, I held the girls that wanted me. So why am I lonely? Ain't time supposed to hear these things, but what if it ain't? Just tell me what to do with a hole in my heart, in the shape of you.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good, dude. Excited to get this going, man.
Yes, sir. Me too. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Happy to do it. So for people that aren't familiar with me or with you, give us a little bit of backstory. Where you from? How you got to where you are today?
Man, I'm from Southeast Texas. I was born and raised in Orange. I live in Nacogdoches, Texas right now, and went through the whole 18 years in Orange, I went to East Texas Baptist in Marshall, played a little baseball out there, and graduated from SFA in Nacogdoches, and kind of hung around a little bit. But yeah, started chasing music probably about 5 years ago, heavy, and actually just quit my job to do it full time. So yeah, awesome. Man, that's where we're at now.
How long did you quit your job?
I'd say like 4 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty fresh, huh? Was that I guess that was a scary experience?
Yeah, man, it was a decent job. I had like, a lot of people call that like the 30-year job. I was in medical sales, and I had a good opportunity to keep moving up, and just was like, man, this isn't for me. It's not what I was passionate about, and I'm young, figured I'd just go after it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, that's a scary leap of faith when you got something kind of secure and.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, it's a little easier whenever you're single, no kids. Like it's a little easier that way, you know. But I'm with you, dude. It's taking that step is the biggest game changer. But yeah, man. So you when did you start getting into music and everything?
Dude, my whole life. So my parents led worship for like the first 14 years of my life. So my mom and dad are both very musically inclined. I'm one of 5 kids, and 4 of us actually all are very musically inclined also. My little brother and my little sister were super talented vocally and instrumentally, and I'm just kind of out here doing my own thing. But yeah, I started leading worship when I was like 12. So
that's awesome, man. Dude, it's crazy how many people I'm talking to that's their story. So like that's my story. My dad was a preacher, so I grew up like singing in church from the time I recorded my first CD at 15, and so like I just traveled around singing in church with him, and we were gone 48 weeks a year. I grew up in a tour bus, and we traveled around doing that. That's Clay awesome. Logan, my buddy we just interviewed on the last episode, his dad was a Methodist preacher, grew up singing in church. So that's crazy, man. That's awesome. So did you pick up the guitar early?
Relatively, I'd say probably about 7. So I guess most people would call that early.
So I guess at 7 you probably took guitar lessons.
No, so my dad actually just taught me like just basic chords.
Because he was a musician, so that makes sense.
My dad's always talking about it, like, didn't know you were gonna take it and run with it like this, but here's where you ended up. So
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, and I'm always interested kind of how people learn, because I feel like a lot of people that are wanting to get into music are so intimidated by the guitar. Like it's just terrifying to them. But it's not that big a deal.
It really isn't, man. And it's like anything else in life. If you're passionate about it, it's just, you kind of figure it out. Like, it sucks at first, but you're not going to be good at anything when you just start it.
If you spend a couple months willing to let your fingers bleed a little bit, it's fine. I mean, I've found a lot of music teachers want to teach all the scales and the theory up front. I taught guitar very little, and I'm not a great guitarist by any means. But whenever I was teach people G, C, minor, and D, if you can learn to play a song for your buddies or for a girl or for whoever it is you want to play for, odds are you'll stick with it and learn something else.
You got to learn it for the ladies.
Exactly.
You got to learn it for the ladies.
If you ain't, then why are you even playing?
If you're picking a guitar around a campfire the rest of your life, there better be some women
around. Exactly. Well, man, you've been to Bossier City much? I know you're from Nacogdoches. You've been through this way?
Man, I love Bossier and Shreveport and just the atmosphere out here, but I don't ever get out this way much because there's no venues and there's not. So, but I think they're working on some stuff.
Yeah,
out
we
here,
got
man.
a little something going on
up the sleeve, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, so I don't really get out here much, but dude, there's something about. I grew up in Southeast Texas, so Louisiana was kind of like. a weird brotherly relationship down there
Mm-hmm.
because all of my friends were just a bunch of Cajuns. I still have some really good friends from down there
Yeah.
that, I mean, just straight up coon ass,
Yeah.
dude. Straight up coon asses.
So I'm always interested in this area. So like the Northwest Louisiana, East Texas, like that whole area, there's so much good music and good musicians that come out of here. I've tried to figure out why that is. You have any idea why so much talent comes out of this area?
Man, I don't think it's anything geographical. I think it's more of like a psychological thing.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm from, Southeast Texas, breeds professional athletes. Like, it's just a powerhouse for it. And I think it's the same thing in any industry. Like, I'm not saying I've made it. I know I will, and I've always tell people I'm not being cocky. I'm just being confident.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, I know I will. And the reason I know I will is because I've seen guys ahead of me. I've got good buddies that are really high up in the industry right now. My buddy Dylan Wheeler's high up. Colby's high up right now. And it's just like we're all from East Texas. I mean, that's where we're at. And I think seeing your friends do it kind of gives you that little bit of motivation that you need.
And the confidence that you can.
Yeah, because, like, if you wake up and you have any doubt, which you're going to have in this business, if you have any doubt that's not, like, secured by, like, okay, my boy did it, I can do it.
Yep.
It takes – there's, you know what I'm talking about. You're a musician. It
100%.
takes a lot.
And it's, too, it's a day-by-day basis. Like, I understand why a lot of musicians struggle with, like, you got to have a lot of self-confidence because you'll go in on like, for instance, I'll play a Friday night at, like, Frozen Pyro, where me and you are going to play tonight. But I'll play on a Friday night over there. Be 2,500 people out there, jam-packed. Not that they all came to see me, but play to a great crowd. Everybody's dancing, having fun, partying. And then I'll go play at a restaurant on a Tuesday night, and there'll be 6 people there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
Background music.
Yeah, you get up on this high, like, man, I'm freaking doing it. And then you go to travel somewhere, and it's not that anybody dislikes it, but it's just like, man, I thought I had all this momentum. You know?
And it's crazy. So, like, you bring that up because I always tell people that are getting into it, I've been doing this 6.5 years, like, semi-professionally, I would call it. Excuse me. Semi-professionally for like 5 to 7 years. And when people ask me, like, how do you do it? I'm like, man, it's the demons in between.
No doubt.
That's like, you got to figure out how to, like, fight that stuff. Like, like you said, 2,500 people will be there one night, and then on the road the next day, you know, you're going to play I'm going to be background music gig.
Correct, yeah.
And that come down is so heavy, it gets a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm like actually like super thankful to, like, God first off for my mindset, but also my raising and, like, how I can battle those things, and it's just kind of gets you on to the next one because you know it's not the end.
Yeah, and you just got to know the bigger picture. Like you said something earlier when we were talking that I thought was great. Your goal is to make 10 fans every time you play.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's the mindset you have to have. If there's 2,500 there, it's probably going to be easy to make 10 fans. But if there's 11 there, you're going to have to work. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess up, son. But, yeah, dude, it's a battle sometimes. But I think that's the reason that people like you and people like me and business in general, like guys we were talking to a second ago over in the East Bank, I mean, they're successful because they knew that they were going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they didn't accept no. You know, I've heard some of the stories of the things that they had to hurdle getting this business started. And I mean, if you have any doubt in yourself, it ain't going to happen. Nope. It's the same way in music. Everybody's looking for a reason to tell you that you're not going to make it. And you just got to have that confidence. I played a show the other night, man, and on the tails of, like, I had 6 shows booked in 7 days. Like, I mean, I was playing show after show after show. And I pull up to this brand new venue I'd never been to, and I'm, like, setting up. And while I'm setting up my equipment, this dude in front of me is like, I hope we get out of here before the band starts. And then, like, the guy turned to my left, and after I'm playing a song, I'm trying to order a Michelob, and this guy turned around to me and goes, yeah, your voice does sound pretty dry. I mean, just, like, deflated, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or my favorite is, hey, it's my wife's birthday. Can you turn it down a little bit?
Exactly.
Yeah, or they want me to sing happy birthday.
Exactly.
Or they want me to bring them up there to sing a song with me.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah, this is cool.
And it's just, You know? Let's see what we're about to get right here.
Yes, sir.
Yep, those are some of the fun ones, man. Well, you've played all over the place. I mean, you've traveled and played some big shows. You've got to play with some really cool artists. Venue-wise, like what's some of the coolest places you've gotten to play that are just stick out in your mind?
I mean, of course, Bonita Creek Hall in Nacogdoches. We've gotten to play some sellout crowds there. I think 3 times we've played
That's awesome.
for sellout crowds. And man, it's the energy on that that stage is like it's unmatched.
Yeah.
And actually, I was gonna make this announcement on here. We're playing Green Hall July 24th.
Dude, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
Green Hall in New Braunfels. We're gonna be there July 24th with Roger Krager
Nice.
for his birthday
what a
bash.
show to play with,
Yeah,
man.
I told my
Is that
friends.
your first time play there?
Yeah, so we were supposed to play there last summer, but then that big bully COVID hit
Yep.
and took that from us. So
Yep.
we were supposed to be with Whiskey Myers before COVID. We were supposed to be with Krager, Donahue, which thank the Lord we've been able to do Krager and Donahue and other acts that have come back. But dude, there was some heartbreak.
Dude, I couldn't
Heartbreak,
imagine.
son. I mean, it was tough.
I had a couple of big shows. We were supposed to play an amphitheater in El Dorado, Arkansas, and that was going to be a big one for us. And we had this whole big, I mean, everything was done. We were playing the week before Snoop Dogg played it, so it was going to be a cool deal. And so I had a couple cancel, but I didn't have no Green Hall cancel.
Have you had Snoop Dogg's wine? Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
It's so good.
The Crimes one,
Dude.
like the day it come out, my girlfriend texted me. She's like, "I need this." So I went
I was
to Kroger
up
that
with
day.
my buddy Trent Willman in Nashville, and he was like, "You ever had this?" And I was like, "Brother, you ain't gonna make me drink no Snoop Dogg wine. What do you think
Like,
this
is
is?"
this infused? What is this?
Yeah, it was so
was
good.
good.
I
It
was
was so
like,
good.
"What is this, man?"
Yep.
And not only that, but Trent is actually doing my next album up in
Right.
Nashville, and dude, getting to go up there and experience everything in Nashville. Like, so I've only been up there twice or 3 times now in the past 3 months. And dude, that is a cool experience. If you ain't been to Nashville, get up there and freaking do it.
It's been a long time, and I've talked to a couple people that are in the scene and everything about just some of the differences in recording studios and stuff like that. But dude, I love my favorite Nashville story, and this is a kind of a name drop, but I don't care. It was one of the cool experiences. So I was up there actually taking a youth trip. So I was taking a group for a Centrifuge, which is church camp.
Oh, I know exactly what Centrifuge
so
is.
I was
Yes,
leading. It was a Mission Fuge deal. So I was leading.
let
the group
me
out there.
infuse right here. You're talking to a mission trip, church camp, vacation Bible school all-star.
Hey.
I consider myself.
Yeah, a little dirt. Yeah, dude. So we're up there for an infuge camp, and so we're in the Opry Mills Mall, and I was married at the time, and my wife at the time asked me, she was like, "If you could meet anybody in Nashville, who would you want to meet?" Well, at the time, Chris Stapleton wasn't like anybody. He was he was in Nashville as from a songwriter standpoint, but he wasn't to the general public. Like nobody really knew
Now,
who he
I mean,
was.
he's a superstar.
This was like 3 weeks before the Justin Timberlake.
At the ACMs?
Yes,
Or
correct.
the CMAs?
CMAs.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 weeks before that.
Cool.
So I'm like, making this group of kids listen to these Stapleton songs on YouTube that are nothing, and so, but it's all these, songs that he's written that are just unbelievable. Now they're massive hits.
Mega hits,
and, so I'm sitting there in the Opry Mills Mall, and I'm taking these kids to eat at the aquarium, that restaurant that's in there. It's like, it's a full aquarium, and you go and eat in there. And so I'm like waiting in line in the little merch area, and this little girl comes running in. And then Chris comes running in behind her. He's like, no, baby, come out here. And he's just walking through the mall, and I was like, there ain't that many people that look like that dude in Nashville.
Very
so
few.
I cut out the door, and I had some other counselors there. I didn't just leave the kids, just so everything's clear. But so I said, hey, I'll be right back. So I go kind of just match pace with him. His family was up ahead of him, and I said, hey, man, I said, you're Chris, huh? And he just kind of gives me one of these other corners out. Nods. I said, dude, I don't want no autograph. I want no picture. I just want to tell you I'm a big fan of your music. I'm coming to see you in Baton Rouge in a couple weeks at the bar you're playing down there. It was like some little, probably the size of this room, like a little bitty bar. He was sitting on a stool, just acoustic show. He's like, oh, man, hit me up. We'll go have a beer. And I said, sounds great. I'll see you in a few weeks. And so shook his hand. 3 weeks later, the ACM deal happens. blows up, cancels all his shows, goes on tour with Lady Antebellum, and when that happened, I start getting messages from every one of those kids because I'm geeking out when I get back to the table.
I bet you were,
dude. I just met Chris Stapleton. They're like, who? Who the heck are you even talking about? So I go through like the Steel Drivers, and we're playing everything he had out. And I start getting messages left and right after that went viral. Like, is this the dude you met in Nashville? I said, that's him.
That's him.
Tried to
dude.
tell y'all.
That's him. And not only that, but Trent's good friends with Chris. They
really?
They write
I
a
figured
lot.
they probably would, yeah.
They write a lot together. And and you have to pull stories out of Trent, dude.
Yeah.
He's so humble. And I'm like, brother, if I had some of these stories,
Yeah.
everybody'd know about them. You know what I mean? Like, but I get it.
100%.
I get it. I guess, and so I'm walking around Nashville, right? And we walked by a bar up there called Live Oak, and Riley Green was up there playing. And I'm like, we're walking by, and my manager lives up there. And I was like, that was Riley Green. Like, and they're all like, yeah, Joey, you're going to have to learn how to, like, not freak out. I was like, brother, hang on, man. Yeah. Come on. I'm a huge Riley Green fan, too.
Yeah, so you're like me, and a lot of musicians, we're all big fans, too, you know?
We all love the same things.
100%. And it's weird when you start becoming friends with people that you're a fan of. You know what I mean? So it's a different dynamic to say, well, for instance, and we'll segue into this in a second, but like your new song. Before this song, that I would say that the new one that you just wrote halfway on the way here, that song I would say is probably my new favorite song that you've done. But man, I can't tell you how many times me and my girl listened to Two Steps Away or something like that.
Man.
I'm telling you, dude, for like a year, like after I think we met in College Station at that conference, and then after that, I started listening to just a bunch of new kind of which you're a little past up and coming, but still there.
I would say up and coming happens for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's a good outlook.
Yeah, and that's what the reason up and comers are up and comers is because they think they're nothing. And like, not saying I think I'm nothing, but like, I'm never gonna be complacent. And that's why like guys like my buddy Dylan and my buddy Tanner Usry and guys like Colby. Now they're bigger than me right now, stream wise and just like concert wise. And I guarantee you, if you went and asked them, they would still be like, "Yeah, I'm up and comers." And then Co's probably thinking the same thing.
Right,
it's crazy. It's just a mindset, man.
For sure, dude.
It's awesome.
But I wasn't exposed to your music yet, so I started listening to that record and everything, and then started listening to some other stuff. But that song, I've sent that to some other people in this area, and I sent it to somebody the other day, and she goes, 30 seconds in, I was hooked. Like,
yes,
I mean, just
sir.
that opening hook and everything, and so I'm a big fan of what you do and everything, and I think that that's a neat aspect of understanding where people come from when they're writing. Like, I mean, what happened with this? Was this just a random occurrence? Because that happens sometimes. Just
Yeah,
like,
you
I
get
wanna
your
put
one-hit
myself in this
wonders.
mindset, But at the same time, just what people do and rooting for them to succeed. And for me, to keep from rambling, for me, this is the reason that I want like you and people like you on this podcast, of people that when we met at the deal in College Station, I wasn't nobody, which my career's done a lot better since then. Yours has continued to grow. Everybody's has. But, me and you sat and talked. Everything was cool. Tanner got to talk with him a little bit. I went up. Colby came in for a little bit, shook his hand, got to talk to him for a minute. Probably talked with Casey Donahue 45 minutes.
Yeah, dude, Casey's cool, man. I love Casey.
Cool as a fan. And Casey's sitting there on the ground, like playing with this kid who was there like 14 years old, teaching him some chords and like going through stuff. Like, I respect and idolize people like that are successful. Everybody in the room wants to be beside them, and they don't care who you are.
Dude, the biggest, like, baddest artists I've met, and I'm gonna name drop with Kojo. Kojo is he's huge, man.
Yeah.
Like, and he's ridiculously talented. But when I met Kojo, it was like he was just another guy,
Yeah.
and he treated me like just another guy. And like, I talked to Trent about guys that he's met that are like superstars, and he's like, man, all of them have this like this vibe about them that lets you know they're good people.
Yep.
Good. I mean, like it very rarely do you see like absolute douchebags
Yeah.
become superstars because
Correct.
it's just hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know outside of country music how that goes, but
Yeah.
you know.
But and it's the same thing as I'll see the reverse. Like I said, it's not often, but at that same conference, I met a guy who I won't say his name, but he, I went up, introduced myself. We was in a group. I was like, "Hey man, by the way, I'm David." He just looks me up one side down the other, and he was getting some traction, but up one side down the other, and it's like, cool.
Yeah,
And,
like,
I'm
who are
like,
you?
bro,
Yeah.
you got Casey in here sitting on the ground playing with kids, and don't come at me with that.
I love Casey, and Casey's wife Melinda's great too.
She's a beast.
She's a beast, brother.
Yeah.
I love Melinda. She cracks me up. She'll come at your throat, dog. I
Yeah.
love it, man. She's crazy. I love it.
My buddy Jimmy Wooten, which I don't know if you know Jimmy, he's from local around here. He plays out in
I
the East
don't know
Bank a
him.
lot. He used to travel with Casey playing bass. He traveled with Neil McCoy for a long time playing bass as well, and he's a insane musician. But he's gonna be on the podcast a couple episodes. He's finishing up some studio stuff, and then he wants to come on then. And but Jimmy was telling me when I was talking to him about it, I said, man, I want to reach out to Casey at some point and try to get him on the podcast. And I said, I guess I need to talk to Melinda, huh? He goes, dude, she runs everything. He said she is a monster.
I
man.
love it, man. And that's my favorite story. One of my favorite stories about like me getting to open for people is walking up to Melinda. I told Casey about this. I just played with Casey in Waco a couple weeks ago.
Oh, gotcha.
Actually, probably a couple months ago now. But yeah, so I just got done playing with Casey. We're back in the green room, and I was like, hey, so this one time when I first met you, it was over at this Texas Music Pickers thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked up to Melinda, and I said, hey, my name's Joey. I know you don't know me. You probably hear this a lot, but you should check out my music. I love Casey's music. And she was like, why? And I was like,
I wasn't prepared for a follow-up question.
I was not ready for that. So I was just like, I think you'd like it. Well, long story short, she went back and I messaged her on Instagram after, and I was like, hey, just check this out. And she was like, hey, I actually like it. Message my manager. So now me and Casey I get to be on some shows with Casey, and it's a whole lot of fun. And him and Chris Colston are really close.
Yeah.
So Colston's a buddy of mine too up there out of Lindale, which is right by Tyler.
And I think I've shared this on the podcast, but share with you is Casey saved my butt, man. At that conference, I was on the verge. Like, everything was growing. I just played a sold-out show with Tyler Farr over in Monroe. Had a few big shows booked, like you were talking about, and everything coming. This was February 2020.
Uh-oh.
And, and so I'm telling Casey, I'm like, man, I think I'm about to take this thing full-time. Like, I really, I want to invest more time into doing this. And he told me the amount of money he had made driving back and forth and still working a full-time job, and Melinda was still working a full-time job, and he said, you can do it. He said, do not quit your job. He said, because you need to be able to come play for me for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And you
That's
know what I mean?
right.
It's a business deal.
That's
right.
right.
He said, I promise you, your career will go more by being able to go farther for cheaper than if you are relying on a paycheck from music.
Absolutely.
And, dude, that was in February. I listened to him. Did not quit my job. COVID happens in March.
Yeah,
like,
really
saved my butt.
happened. Yeah, and then the next 9 months, I don't even remember.
Correct, exactly. So what did you do during all that time? So what you said you had like 70-something shows canceled?
Yeah, I think we had 73. I always I make up that number because it's in between 70 and 75.
But no telling how many shows you would have booked.
And that's just what we've factoring in like how many I was booking per month.
I see, gotcha.
So it was anywhere from 70 to 80 shows technically.
Yeah.
I always just say 70 to 75, but yeah. So basically during that time, I was working my medical sales job in East Texas. I had a wonderful girlfriend back then. We broke up recently, and so not really a whole lot to that. I'm not going to give y'all all the details
I'll drink
on
to that.
But yeah, but yeah. So I basically all I did was hang out with my girlfriend in my apartment and gained like 15 pounds.
Ouch.
Yeah, and was like mildly depressed, and I didn't know it because I'm not a depressed type person. Right. But man, I was sitting there like, this sucks.
Yeah,
Dude, this is
tough
awful.
on the relationship too. Me and my girl went through that. It's like you're locked in a room with this person
Dude,
for months.
It snowed in East Texas, and like, dude, how many? Everybody was seeing each other more than any human interaction in history.
Yeah.
It's like,
yep, since definitely in the last century. Like,
God, yeah, and I honestly 100% believe people aren't supposed to be together that much.
Yeah,
Because
hey, I'm with you 100%. It's like,
and it's not. I'm not even saying it's about the other person. I'm saying like, dude,
you go on that end of the house, I'm going to stay over here.
I know I've got my own stuff that you got to
100%.
deal with, and I'm like, dude, I wouldn't want to be locked in a room with me for a
No.
month. Hell no.
Nope. I get it. Jail ain't for me because
No,
I couldn't do it.
sir.
I couldn't do it, man.
I'd be Shawshank Redemption digging my way out of that sucker.
Yeah. Did you ride a lot during that time?
I did, yeah. So me and Trent wrote 10 to 15 songs together, and I got to write with some guys that he'd be like, yeah, we're doing it right with this guy, and I'd look him up, and they've got like 10 number ones. And I'm like, dude, Trent really, and in fact, that's one of the people I really want to touch on this podcast is like, that dude is just like amazing.
Yeah.
He really latched on to me after the Music Pickers thing in College Station when we met.
Yeah.
And dude, we started doing video writes over COVID. We were doing like one to two writes a week, as much as we could, and never really got too much traction at first. I mean, we did very well together, but like I didn't think it was gonna really come down to like, hey, let's go record.
Right.
And he came out and was like, hey, let me produce your next album. And I was like, which he does all the Kojo stuff.
I was about to say, yeah, he's Kojo's producer.
I
That's
mean,
a huge compliment.
Yeah, huge compliment. And at that time, I was kind of like, I'm not real big into thinking anything that sounds too good to be true to me, I automatically dismiss.
Yeah.
So like this one, I was like, all right, yeah, cool, yeah, we'll do a record.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah. But now we're what, a year and 5-6 months into this deal, and he's like been one of the biggest mentors. Not only that, but he's taught me how to write. Like this last song might as well have been co-written by Trent.
Yeah.
That one that you were talking about might as well have been co-written by Trent, just because he's so influential in how like his artistic ability has strengthened mine.
You could probably say that about every song you write from here on out, though. Because
Absolutely.
Just writing styles and patterns and everything else.
And you know, honestly, he could say that about the guys that he learned with.
Correct.
So it's crazy, man. I love music, but there is definitely, it's just like a muscle, man.
Yep.
Everything we do is, if you work it out all the time, it's going to get stronger, it's going to get better. And not only that, but people gravitate towards it better. So,
absolutely. Dude, I couldn't agree more. Trent, I've only got to visit with him was that weekend in College Station, and which you were playing at the Tap, and he and I were hanging out just by the bar. Again, knew who he was because he had done the deal, whatever. But I went and introduced myself, and dude, cool as a fan. He was like, dude, here's my card. Send me some of your stuff. Like, we sat and talked probably 30, 45 minutes, and in my mind, I'm trying to be chill. Like, hey, dude. I know this Kojo's producer. I know he's an unbelievable songwriter and all this stuff, but we just sat and drank a beer and listened to some good music. And we talked about fishing. He's like, where are we going after this? Like, I mean, just super laid back, and I thought the world of it.
Great. Cool as a cucumber, cool as the fan, cool as flip side of the fillet, cool as the fridge is where I'd go. I love that guy,
exactly.
Man. There's I'm kind of going overboard on it because I don't meet a whole lot of people doing what I do. Most of the people I interact with are bar owners.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, not necessarily people like you want to say, hey, come hang out at the house, let's have a beer. But and that's no offense to bar owners, by the way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So like when I met Trent, it was kind of a breath of fresh air. So I like to always brag on people that kind of
not
have
only that
vibe.
is having somebody that's that influential that believes in you and wants to support what you do. People like us, that's worth its weight in gold, man.
Absolutely. Like, and what we were saying earlier is like, the confidence and like believing in yourself in this business is 90%. I'd say even 95% of the battle is between the shows when you're on the road.
Because what else is going to make you make all those calls? Which if you have some management help, that helps. But before you get to that point, you're not calling all these bar owners. You're not putting in the work if you don't believe in yourself.
Absolutely not. And not only that, but if you're not believing in yourself, you're tearing yourself back. So if you're either moving forward or you're moving backward mentally. And so, like, when a guy like Trent walks up and says, like, hey, let me do your next record, it's like, all right, he believes in me.
Correct.
Why don't I? And, you know,
it just gives you a higher boost of confidence in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Well, yeah, man, I'm excited about that record. Do you have, like, an ETA on when that may be done?
Actually, I'm headed up July 1st to record.
Awesome.
So, most likely we'll be done recording and producing late July, early August, and normally we're going to have about a month and a half to 2 months of promo. So I'd say like early September is going to be like a good ETA.
Very cool.
maybe even a little bit before that for like one of the first singles. But you know, man, I'm kind of like Trent's asking me a lot of questions about like what do you want to do for a single or how you want to do this. I'm like, brother, you've been doing this since I was born. Like you just tell me what you want to do and 100%. We'll figure it out. Now I do have a lot of like artistic input. But when it comes to like time wise, dude, I'm just kind of chilling. I've got 16 or 17 songs on Spotify and Apple Music and any other streaming platform. And so I'm kind of chilling. I'm not really rushing anything.
Not in a hurry. Just want to make sure it's right.
Absolutely.
I think that's very wise, man. And then having 16 good songs, being willing to wait and put out 16 good songs instead of, I got 3 good ones and then a bunch of fillers that I really don't.
This album has 0 fillers, dude. I'm so excited.
I can't wait because not only that, and then whenever you go to the studio and record this new song that you're going to play for us in just a second, dude, I'm telling you, like I will be the first person downloading it. It is, I'm excited about it. So tell me before we get to that, I'll transition to that because we're getting close. Me and you got to go play a show. Tell me about the TikTok thing that's been going on the last 48 hours.
Dude, I wish I could tell you because I wish I understood it. I've been posting on TikTok probably about a year and a half now. And, you know, I kind of figured like TikTok would be cool. I was a Vine guy back in the day because that's where Luke Combs kind of got his start.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Kane Brown was on there, blew up.
Kane Brown, Luke Combs, and like all those guys blew up because of this social media platform. And I was like, I'm a little old school in how I act. Now, my music's not necessarily old school, but when it came down to it, I was like, man, I'll give TikTok a try. So I started posting, trying to be a little more strategic about it. And
there's not even a strategy. That's the thing.
There's no strategy. You just post and hope people like it. Well, I posted slouched over on my couch the song I'm about to show y'all, and it's super sad. Like I honestly, I wanted to put in parentheses like, guys, don't check on me, I'm okay. It was like, damn, dude, like what are you doing? Like. And I'm really not a sad guy. I just love sad songs because to me they're the truest, they're the most intimate.
You got venues coming up to you like, you sure you need this?
Pull it, like, Joe, I think you've had enough. I only had 3 beers. Exactly. What are you talking about? No, it's so. I don't really know what happened. I went from 500 followers to I think we're at like 20,000 followers now over 48 hours. Yeah. And I'm not cussing it. I'm not upset about it. I don't understand it, and I don't really care.
I saw a video the other day, which like Zach Bryan,
Zach's
100%
great,
TikTok.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he was grinding, doing his thing, but he blew up on TikTok.
Twitter helped him a lot too. But and one thing that's weird is like this stuff doesn't translate. Like Twitter doesn't translate to
not at all.
I almost said Vine. Twitter doesn't translate to TikTok. TikTok doesn't translate to Instagram, and they don't. Because I posted that TikTok on my Twitter, and I was like, man, people are going to like it. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying they didn't, but, dude, it didn't get any reaction. Yeah. And it's like, what? Thank you, TikTok gods, for
that's literally the way it is. Like,
for putting me
raining
out there.
down your blessings on me. But, no, it's the same way like, who was the other guy? Oh, the dude doing the Down in Dallas song.
Like, Down in Dallas, yeah.
He posts this video the other day.
That is an outrageous song.
Insane.
That's outrageous.
He posts this video of his tour bus on this tour that he's going on. He's like, dude, like literally a couple of months ago, I was nobody, and a song about butt stuff has like literally propelled my career to where I'm now traveling in a tour bus.
And it's crazy. So I'm 5'7", like 5'8" with my boots on. I'm not a big guy. So like in reference, I know that most people are big to me, but Trey's a big dude.
Is he?
He's huge. I saw him in Nashville like 3 weeks ago, and I walked up and I was like, hey.
You're that
and
guy.
He was like, who are you? And I was like, you don't need to know who I am. I know who you are, like you dirty son of a gun.
So this is what you're going to notice, because I had a different scenario, which we talked about on the TikTok thing, but had this happen. And my whole life I've been known as the singer, which I'm sure you're the same way. It's like, oh, you're that dude that sings, you're that dude that plays music, whatever. I've started having people come up to me, even at shows, like, bro, weren't you that guy I saw on TikTok? And so I promise, like, it's going to correlate both ways with you, but I promise you'll start getting fans at shows like, oh my God, I started following you on TikTok and saw you were going to be in town. Swear, just text me when it happens.
I will, dude.
I
was hoping it would. I was hoping it would translate to some tickets because, man, I don't get a whole lot of success, and I say that relatively speaking because I'm very I have a whole lot of high standards. So like when something most people would call successful, I'm like, well, tomorrow it may be.
Correct.
You know,
correct.
it might be
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
want it. But yeah, so I would say like TikTok doing this is one of the more successful things I've had
Yeah, for
in
sure.
my career at least. And so I'm going like, all right, let's see
keep
what
it
happens.
going,
Let's
keep
see
it
what
going.
happens.
Yep.
So I'm trying to hit it while the iron's hot.
Dude, and I think that I think it's going to be awesome. I'm rooting for you on it. You want to play that song for us?
Absolutely.
Let
Yeah, let me grab my guitar.
While he grabs guitar, I want to take a second and thank the Margaritaville Resort and Casino for being our hotel sponsor, where Mr. Joey will be staying tonight. You hadn't been checked in over there, I don't think, right? Yeah, so he hadn't checked in or anything yet. So whenever he gets checked in, he'll see how nice it is. But if you're ever in Bossier City, Shreveport area, or any of the surrounding areas, make sure you check out Margaritaville Resort and Casino. Unbelievable venue. It's the newest casino in town. Beautiful, beautiful area out there. Some great, great restaurants inside of it. Just an incredible atmosphere and a great venue. So be sure to check them out and tell them that you heard about them on the Red Dirt University, and thank them so much for being one of our sponsors, and we are super appreciative of it. Like I said a minute ago, Joey is going to be playing a show. He and I are playing a show together in the East Bank tonight. So over at Frozen P-Row and Bojack's, we'll be set up there in a little bit, which will be after you guys. It'll be before you guys see it, but do follow Joey on all the social media platforms, Facebook, now TikTok. Is your TikTok Joey Greer Music? Yep. So on Joey Greer Music, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of it. Make sure you follow him. This guy's got some incredible music. Stream his music on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you stream on. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. One of my favorite, I'm going to say up-and-coming artists, because you are, in your own mind, in the Texas Red Dirt scene, and definitely excited about what he is doing, what he's going to be continue doing. Brand new song. You wrote half the second verse on the way here.
Yeah, I was actually coming out of Carthage, and I had a verse hit me because I hadn't finished the song. I just posted the chorus on TikTok just to have some content.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody freaked out about it. So I wrote the first verse 2 days ago, and then I was waiting on the second verse to hit me, and it hit me on the way here. So y'all are the first people to get to hear it. Actually,
first time ever, brand new song. Promise you, I told Joey, I'm betting him $1,000 that this is going to be his biggest song to date whenever he releases it. Definitely my favorite song. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to pull this back a little bit for you, and I'll control that a little bit. That way you get a good sound. And yeah, fire away, brother.
Sweet. Here we go. This one's called In the Shape of You. I just finished it up like you said. Pretty excited about it. Thank y'all for listening. It's 2:30 in the morning and I can't close my eyes. I hate that I have to drink to make myself feel tired. I've been running around in circles, trying to use this bottle just like a shovel to fill up the parts of me you're leaving left empty. Memory don't drown away in doubles. I drank the whiskey, I held the girls that wanted me. So why am I lonely? Ain't time supposed to heal these things, but what if it ain't? Just tell me what to do with a hole in my heart, in the shape of you. Your memory tells me keep on drinking, even though I know it'll tear me to pieces. Everyone around me knows I'm sinking. Just listen to your mama, boy. You just need Jesus. I drank the whiskey, I held the girls that wanted me. So why am I lonely? Ain't time supposed to heal these things? But what if it ain't? Just tell me what to do with a hole in my heart, in the shape of you, in the shape of you. I drank the whiskey, I held the girls that wanted me. So why am I lonely? Ain't time supposed to heal these things? What if it ain't? Just tell me what to do with a hole in my heart, in the shape of you.
I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be your biggest song.
I appreciate that, man.
It's gonna be awesome. I appreciate you sharing it with us on this, man. It means
Absolutely.
a lot to me. So y'all check him out for real. Joey Greer, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. He's going to be back in the East Bank soon, playing some more shows. So even though you guys are going to miss this one, or maybe you won't. Maybe you're hearing this and you already came to the show. Who knows? But whenever you hear this, we'll have already played our show here in Frozen P Road. But be back. We're going to get him back.
Also, don't forget, come out here to old Bossier City, Shreveport. Tell your mom and them come stay at Margaritaville.
Yes, sir.
Drink a cold Michelob.
Yes,
listening
sir.
to Red Dirt University.
That's it.
Podcast over here at the Frozen P Row. What's this called? The East Bank? Yeah.
East Bank,
Come on, check it out. It's a really cool area, man.
Yeah.
Y'all have done cool with it.
Like
Y'all done
I
a
said,
cool deal
man,
with it.
It's way different than it was 5 years ago.
I'm impressed.
But man, it's going to be even more different in a few months. But yeah, man, we're excited. We're excited to be bringing some great artists like you out to this area and getting to expose people that, if they're not in Texas, may not have heard you yet, you know. And so I'm excited to get to bring artists like you into a new market and get to just share what music that I love with people out here, man.
Texas-Louisiana line's important to me. Like I said, I grew up down there, so I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see what happens out here, man. This is beautiful. Y'all got to come see it. It's cool.
We kind of developed a little slogan that said, red dirt don't stop at the Red River. You know what I mean?
That's right,
We
son.
ain't scared of it, man. Once you cross over that Red River, we still love it over here too.
Yes, sir.
But y'all tune in for the next episode. Again, follow us on YouTube, Spotify. We've got a playlist as well, a bunch of great Red Dirt artists on Spotify and Apple Music. Joey's on there. You'll find a couple of his songs on there as well. Be sure to check it out. Stay tuned for next week, and we'll see y'all then.
Take care.